Welcome back to the stream. We're gonna play Xenoblade Chronicles 3 and tackle all the major side quest stuff, which is the hero quest and Ascension quest. I'm not gonna continue with that because I still got some time, so I'm gonna do more of them because there's still more to do. Alright, get game up here. Alright, so just going off where I left off here. So we just finished getting piece number 5 for our side quest to upgrade the, well, not to upgrade, but to get a flying ship. So Noah's hero quest has officially begun, so let's go and do that. Because Noah is our main character, and we need to do that. You need to go over here. We get to see a new place tonight. The Gardane military base, which is between Colony 11 and Keves Castle. An area we have not been able to get access to yet in the game until now.
So it's beyond this bridge?
Yeah. No chance from the front. Not like this.
We can go across those islands. That way, we should be able to swing round the back. Then, it's in and out, fast as we can.
Yeah. We go in, we get the shard, and we hightail it out there.
Right.
I can't see another way. Let's do it.
Back to the castle.
Chris, you were a week away from your homecoming. Why?
Noah? You okay?
Oh, yeah. Sorry about that.
Hmm?
Strange. Now of all times.
It's almost like this foreboding sense that we're going to encounter somebody again. Also, was there a rope thing there the entire time and I didn't see it?
Stick to the plan.
I'll take them on.
This'll keep me going.
The element of surprise. I can't keep them interested. One more than it.
Thanks. Heal Colony!
Bring the rubbish up the other little. I can't keep them interested. I'll draw them. Time to get crushed. Stay. It's power. We can do that. Was pretty much what I expected.
I'd say we were moving in sync, right, Tyon?
Using that device should allow us to proceed.
I could swear this was not here before.
Like this?
Will it move now?
And off we go! You think we'll be able to slip through undetected?
No.
I don't know. But we'll need to proceed with extreme caution.
Nope. We're gonna have to fight. It's a given.
How about here?
Will it move now?
Team, we've made it. We made it to the unknown.
This is unsettling. Not a single person anywhere in sight.
What's going on? Is this because we busted up the Annihilator?
No, I very much doubt it. We didn't do any direct damage to the castle itself.
Maybe it's because of the Machini Queenie?
Machini Queenie.
Even so, we didn't actually free the soldiers here, right? And yet no one's here. Huh? The shard's changing position. Hey, Noah, look at this. Noah?
It's a song.
What song?
You're right. It's a Kevesi one. The melody.
Yeah. And it's not just any melody. I know who's playing.
Chris. Wait, Chris? Wasn't that the guy who was Noah's off-seeing instructor?
Yeah.
Huh? But Chris is...
Yeah. He died 4 years ago. Does that mean he's been reborn? Like Ethel?
No. I don't think that's it.
What then? Like Mobius?
Yeah, like Mobius.
There are two types of Mobius. The kind like Z and X, who were Mobius from the beginning, and humans who became Mobius, like N, M, and Urine.
So... is this like a trap?
Probably. But the origin metal readout is real. It's definitely here.
In we go?
Yeah. In we go.
What? Into the jewels?
They're clearly aware that we're coming. But there's no one around. He's waiting. For me.
And the doors have opened. First, this door needs to open too.
Could you help me out here? Here we go. Let's just sneak a peek. Is this like a rare thing? Never seen this place before.
It's another thing to see it for yourself, eh?
Something weird's going on, right?
Oh yeah.
The silence is unnerving.
Whoa, check this place out.
The tap dancing Nopon. Yeah, this is another city. We just never really seen it before. And there's nobody here. Gosh, I thought that said Fort Obvious.
Check this place out.
It's obviously a fort. I just want to take a quick look around.
I wonder what's around here.
Not beyond Cathedral.
All right. Hey, look, Mimi. Isn't this amazing?
Isn't it amazing? We found a secret area. Oh. Can you get across here? You can try. Off you go. Oh, there's treasure up here.
Let's just sneak a peek.
Whoa, got a rare doodah right here.
And back across where everybody falls off to their death. Keep going, Monica.
All right.
We have to
You know
keep
what?
track of our progress.
I have to take a look in here. Can we go in there? No, we can't. The tap dancing no pond is closed. Guess I'll find out later what that is. You must liberate the castle from the evil machine queen. It's a big area. It's a place for a boss fight.
Topographical info updated.
Oh.
Good to see you again, Noah.
I knew it. Chris.
Thank goodness. I'm so happy to see that you're still an Offseer.
Chris! Come out! Reveal yourself!
I'm waiting in the throne room. Take your time. I want you to come up here. Then I want you to play that special melody.
Chris!
I'll be waiting.
Never seen this
Are
place
you all
before.
right?
I'm fine. We need to go up to the throne room. Chris is waiting.
So this is almost like the interior of Alchemoth. almost. They've all been mechanized. Kind of wonder what compelled Melia to redo the place like this. Yep, this thing is still here. It's the only thing still here, but still recognizable.
It's another thing to see it for yourself, eh?
I first met Chris on the day of a homecoming.
I remember.
A short time later, I put in to become an officer. And then, we met again.
The name's Noah, right? I'm Chris. Starting today, I'll be your personal cheater, all right? Let's begin.
Hey, Chris. Tell me something. Back then, on that day, why did you look so sad?
Which day?
The day of homecoming. In Colony 14.
Ah, I see. So that's how I looked to you then.
The others looked so happy. And the soldier, he was so pleased about it. But not you.
I think he probably felt content.
Content?
He had lived through it all, fought hard, and in serving his colony, he found purpose. I find it's quite a tragic thing.
But why? I mean, it was time for him to return home.
What do you think that entails?
Huh?
Reaching your life's expiry date. Surviving through so many battles.
Well,
Do you honestly believe he was happy to disappear for such trivial reasons? That his smile belied no doubt? To me, he looked ready to cry.
Huh.
Being unable to choose his end. Merely accepting what comes next.
Chris.
There's no joy in a contrived death, Noah.
Contrived death, huh? At this point, I get him. Kind of, at least.
On that day, he shook my belief. Was I really content? Content with the path I'd chosen to follow? And then he chose for himself. His end would be by his design. I need to know. What was he thinking back then? And why now? Why has he appeared before me?
Let's go ask him.
I hate the waiting part.
I wonder what's around here.
Chris.
Seriously, those Mobius snuffers can really do one.
I hate the waiting part.
Yes, Mia, we know you hate waiting on elevators. It's just so... Oh, all the doors open up, man. Well, back in the throne room. Is that the grate we came in from before? Oh, no, that's a different grate. Interesting. Okay. Is the Machine Queen still here? Yeah, they fixed her.
Chris.
Ouroborus, you dare to appear before me once again. Do you not value your lives? Such idiocy.
Oh, shut up, Machine.
Never have
You're a
shown
robot.
faces here again. But you leave me no choice. For sullying this consecrated ground, I will see to it that justice is served.
What a terrible din.
Yeah, just stop with the robot thing.
Only an imitation. Its empty words could never ring true. Let me hear it, Noah. I want a true melody.
I thought you'd attack me with a flute.
Let me hear your melody. You'll hear it. It'll be the best performance you've ever heard.
Yeah, we have the Mobius song. That's your melody.
Twin move. I'll draw them. Lightning resonance.
Well, we just call him Consul Chris, not Consul C.
Let my song echo.
Come on, dude, break.
Feeling good. Lightning resonance. Wanting harm. Ring a rope. Turn it up to 11.
This'll get us going. Feel it in my body.
Man, this dude's got like complete break resistance. Come on. There we go, finally. Spin. Yeah, I'm ready for you. I'm ready. Finish him. Yippee! In.
Why, Chris? Why become Mobius? Tell me, what would possess you to side with them?
So I could see you again, Noah.
But why?
Your sworn mission is to change this world, is it not?
Yes.
And is that because you're unhappy with the way it is?
It's wrong, and we have to correct it. That is all.
I see. So relentless desire is what drives you.
Desire?
You fight for betterment, for ever greater aspirations.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing at all. It's human nature, after all. But you still don't understand. There's something you must learn.
What's that?
To be content with one's lot.
What do you mean?
Don't you see? Only the strong can ever hope to reach the fabled horizon that you seek. Your words must be backed up by strength in equal measure. Winner's logic.
I mean, we're plenty strong.
But birds, what can they possibly know of how a lowly worm feels?
Then, what would you have become of the weak? Would you abandon them? You would refute their everything? End their story there?
Mobius are the ones doing that.
Noah, what you're trying to achieve here amounts to the same thing. You really think freeing Origin will revive the world and solve all of our problems? You must surely have heard from the Queen of Agnes the truth of this world.
So what then? You're saying the Queen's lying?
No. Surely not.
Then what?
But there is no guarantee. If the Queen is wrong, and the world is not created anew, what happens then?
Huh?
What if this is some flight of fancy? What if you've been taken in, staking your lives on a whim? Who's accountable? I ask you that.
Well,
I think it's still the right thing to do.
Oh?
It was your smile, Chris. I get it now. I know why you were smiling back then. I'm good here. I get what you meant now. You asked me once if I would keep moving. And my answer...
Tell me, Noah.
I will. To the end. So that I can treasure those final moments.
Final?
When that hour is upon me, I want to look back and smile. Then I'll be good. And to come out smiling, we all have to choose where our lives take us. For our future selves. And yet, lack of choice is enough to break a person. They struggle, suffer, clawing their way through endless fog. A world without choice, that's wrong. If death is a lie in this world, it deserves to end.
So you'd rather perish along with the world?
I just want to cut this world free from Mobius.
Whatever the consequences.
Yeah. Otherwise, the Queen would never have told us the things she did. We take everything as it comes, and we're afforded so little. Still, no matter how slim a chance we might have, it's a chance. So if that's an option we can take, then I'll take it.
Noah, your melody, I hear it loud and clear. Now show it to me. Your conviction and your smile.
Okay. You have to beat up this thing.
Shall we fight in earnest?
Gladly, Chris.
Mega
Present.
Destructive shock! I'm getting in the groove!
Keep it up, Theo. Uppercut slash. Cairo.
We can do this, but I have no choice.
Feel it in my bones!
Aerial slash. Oh, yeah.
You want some more?
Bring a rope. We can do better yet. How? We can do it. We can do better yet.
Very like you.
Here we go.
We're loose. Are you ready, Uni? We are excellence above you. I'll draw them.
Keep it up, Theo. Turn it up to 11.
This will give them something to think about. Jackal Norway. Off you go. Impulse Wave.
Spirit Raven. Pains me, but I have no choice.
Oreo. You know it. I'll start off. Ready. Radiant Reach.
Jackal Claw.
Priest, calm now.
Let's use it to the max. What do you think of this? Shockwave. Give this a go. You guys ready for this?
I will show you my song. It is the song of chain attack. The song of spin. Not 2 million, not bad.
Incredible.
It's a beautiful song, Noah. Noah, the one who made me Mobius, was Zed. And it wasn't just me. J too, and N, and M. All of us were human once. And Zed changed our very being.
Why? Why would he do that to you?
For that, you'd be best off asking Zed himself. But listen, Noah. I think in the end, I was happy to have become Mobius. How could I not be, after hearing such a wonderful song? Chris, Mobius are an entity bound by the confines of this world. Strong, yet somehow fragile. And in their fragility, they crave only the now, fearing to tread even a single step towards the future. I chose the path of the Offseer because I had a thought. the sender and the ones being sent. I wanted to learn exactly what it was that connected them. Though we may be forgotten, our feelings live on. It is through our melodies that we carry them on. I think I once told you something to that effect.
Yeah.
There's a place doing just that. The city.
The city is?
The many lives born of the city. Lives whose existence was never recorded in Origin. They are our future. They themselves are proof of the coming winds of change.
I think I see.
They are our hope. Just as you once were. They too are the product of Ouroborus' will. And that is something that can never die.
Chris, you knew everything all along.
Noah, one last thing.
Do your thing.
Aren't you gonna?
You really do play the most beautiful tune. Go now, Noah. Sing your song for all to hear.
Noah.
Huh?
So those things Chris said, what was that all about?
Finding value.
What now?
Chris, when he played his Offseer song, he conveyed his wish to me. His wish that I would come to find value in all things.
He entrusted it all to you, Noah. Ergo, the rest is history.
Yeah, but it's so.
Sad, isn't it?
I'm going, for sure. His wishes won't be in vain as we march on Origin.
Did we actually get the piece, though?
Do you truly want it thus, O ye voices? Then let me enunciate, emphatically so, the rules to which this world adheres, for the benefit of us all.
You're running out of Mobius people, it said. We're coming for you. There are an infinite number of letters in the alphabet.
There's been a change in colony relations.
Noah has been upgraded, and Keves Castle is unlocked.
Looks like we got all the metal.
It has been liberated. Castle is liberated now. Alright, let's take a look at the tap dancing no pawn.
Smell cooking. Smells good. How about we grab something?
We are indeed the Ouroborus. Man, we already know the colonies are doing pretty good. So this is just a side quest.
We've made some new friends.
Alright, what kind of food do they have here?
I'm getting peckish. Do we have any snacks?
They have the EXP boost. Or the meat lizard.
Thanks for the food.
Not that I really need an EXP boost.
Oh, I needed that.
Actually, I really don't.
Hey, Manana, this one's for you.
Anything to discuss? No. We need to do Triton. I need to go to, Piranha's Hope back in Cadencia for that.
We have to keep track of our progress.
Buckle up. We're rolling out.
It was Ouroborus on another level, yes. We are. We're the boss. We're the boss of you. Anyway, if you think we should have access now to Ashera's.
I go wherever you go.
Put her in the team here. Let's see if anything opens up here.
Time for a nice big breakfast. been an age since I was here last.
It's all making sense. Is this like a rare thing?
Door open. Why door no open?
We've been to quite a few places now.
Behold the hero's return! Or whatever.
Take Ashera to the Okana battlefield. Okay. That's where I have to go. Alright. We'll take a short break here. And then we will go to the old Okana battlefield. Alright, I am back. Okay, Old Okana battlefield. Let's go. That is this place. I don't think anybody's maxed out on anything yet. No. Okay.
Hey, Ashera. Ashera.
Hey, Ashera!
Ashera, wake up. Wake up, sleepyhead. It's time to go to school.
What are you doing here? We thought you'd disappeared.
Sorry. I just wanted to see this.
The golden flame clock?
Our lives can shine like gold. But scatter them to the wind and they still end up like this. In spite of that, people are drawn to honor and glory. Like moths to a flame. I wonder why.
I hope you're not looking to me for an answer.
Perhaps it's just human nature?
Perhaps. Though if that's true, then there's no saving us. We couldn't possibly hope to escape the lure. Destined to be caught in the fire and die.
Thanks for that pep talk. So, what you trying to say?
I'm saying that's really not how I want to go. Oops, I'm getting a call. Won't be a minute.
This is Zoran from Colony 11. Come in?
Yes, hello. This is Ashera from Colony 11. You'll have to call back. I'm busy.
Seriously, Ashera? And here I thought I'd give you some good news.
Uh-huh. Something's got you in a good mood, Zor. Yes, I will make time for you then.
Don't ask why, but I don't think we're gonna like this.
Yeah, agreed.
A short while ago, Colony 11 received a declaration of war.
Is that all? Come on, what else is new? You know as well as I do, we get those almost every other day.
What if I tell you it's from someone you've been just itching to see again? Need a clue?
Are you serious? She's back.
So? Don't keep us in the dark.
Time to rejoice, comrades! A certain Madam Consul has finally deigned to pay a visit, hoping to get her revenge.
What? That freak seriously come back?
She did strike me as the vindictive type.
Alrighty. So, Colony 11's in great danger. We have to head over and provide aid.
Ugh, what rubbish. If you want to go on another rampage, just say so.
Good old Uni. A typically astute observation.
Listen, just finish the job this time, okay? No cutting her loose, please.
I read you. This time I'll put her down, I promise.
If you're finished deliberating, where are you now?
Let's see. The Faunus region, near the old Kana battlefield.
Ah, that's convenient. Approach from the Map the Wildwood side. We'll head out from Colony 11, catch them in a pincer and crush them in one fell swoop.
Oh, nice! Let's do that. It sounds fun. Oh, and leave the leader's head on her shoulders. I just promised I'd come to collect it.
I can't guarantee that. Just make sure you're not delayed having some extra fun.
Ah, wait! Sparks. Have to hurry or there'll be trouble.
The only trouble is you psycho. Oh, whatever.
We have to get there first and fight.
Let's go and tear
Fight the
our
console
new one.
first.
Too right. Get ready for battle!
I can't tell if they're about to hug or throttle each other, those two.
Let's take the fight to the enemy. Battle.
Alright. From this side. Alright.
to keep track of our progress.
Not good. The battle's already started.
Hey, look! It's not a colony they're fighting. It's a mix of Kevesi and Agnian troops.
Ours very own private army. I don't think she cares about the optics of this anymore.
We're not gonna know who's friend and who's foe. What do we do?
I have a cunning plan. We'll just round them all up and...
Nope, not doing that.
That was a joke, dear. For now, we can rendezvous with Colony 11's main force. We'll follow Zor's plan, push for the bridge, and catch the baddies in a pincer. All right?
Yeah, roger that.
You're starting to sound awfully normal.
Well, you could also summarize it as rush them down and start the carnage.
When you put it like that.
I mean, that's kind of what we do anyway.
I mean, a charge! Was she gonna say suicide attack?
No, we don't need to do. We don't need to do that. We can just run past them.
Sorry to keep you, ladies and gents. The star is here. How's it looking?
Finally, you're here. Things are trickier than we thought.
You're being overrun.
I hate to admit it, but that's about right.
Come on. Try not to sound so miserable. You're making the three ravens look bad.
But seriously, if you're saying that, it sounds like something big is going down.
Indeed. That blasted carrion bird. Queen only knows where she got her claws on a trump card like that.
What card? What do you mean?
You'll find out soon. After we take care of these.
After we take care of the riffraff.
I don't fear death, so breathe.
Hold them off! Uppercut them back! I'll draw them!
I'm done. I'm done.
Are you ready, Uni? You're allowed now to bring them to their knees. Spirit Ravens! Feel that? Oh, yeah!
Leave the enemy to me!
I can't let you show me up, Noah.
Ha! Trying to swamp us with grunts? They'll need a better card than that to...
Hold that thought, Lance. Something's not right here.
Okay.
No,
They're
wait.
zombies.
We gotta beat him again?
Ours little trick at work. They keep popping back up no matter what we do.
Neat idea, that. Throws a bit of a spanner into the works.
Whatever. They've pushed us this far. We've got no other option.
Actually, we'd better fall back to Colony 11.
It's not like you to get cold feet.
I just have a bad feeling about this. Times like these, it's better to follow your gut.
What's the plan?
You lead the retreat of the main force. We lucky few get to guard the rear.
Acknowledged. Don't die on us yet, Ashera.
Here they come, guys.
Don't chase the enemy down. Let them come to us. Remember, we're retreating too.
Sometimes
Destroy everything.
I'm energized just watching. Can't let you show me up, Noah.
Snuff! What is with these mudders? Why won't they just die?
Look, what do we do? There's nowhere left to run!
Truer words were never spoken. Looks like it's curtains for you, scum.
Well, 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 Madam Consul, you look in good health.
I'm very well, thank you. How about yourself, you filthy animal? You're looking a tad rough, if you don't mind me saying.
We're a little tied up here. Do you mind making this quick?
Oh, enough of these exhausting charades. I don't think you understand the gravity of your situation. If I were to order my army to fall upon you as antholes on a fresh carcass, what do you think would happen? Shall we see?
If you wanted to do that, you could have done it from the start. You obviously want something.
Indeed. And so to the matter at hand. Foul and wicked traitors, listen to me well. Accept my demand, and I shall order my troops to withdraw this instant.
Oh?
You'd pull back your troops? In this situation?
Ha! I'm sure her worshipfulness would love nothing more than to show us mercy. Ugh!
Wrong. I know a better way to settle things. One that won't leave behind any grudges. Former Commander Ashera, and you, mutinous Ouroborus whelp. I challenge you to a duel.
Okay.
Excuse me?
I was expecting something else, but fine.
A duel? What? Is that like a skirmish?
You ignoramuses. Ah, but no, I suppose it's only natural you wouldn't know. A duel is a concept from the bygone world. Call it a specific method of waging warfare. You and I will battle under a strict set of rules in order to settle matters once and for all. The winner of the duel will determine how this war ends.
So then you're saying we can finish this thing right now? By ourselves?
This is nonsense. What would you stand to gain from this?
A duel is staked upon one's honor, not one's life. Trivial things such as gain or loss have no bearing here. Ashera, with this duel, I will erase the shame you inflicted and restore my due dignity. I think you understand. Now give me your answer.
I'm just making sure, but what if I refuse?
Then the war is back on. My invincible army will crush your whole colony, and you along with it. Of course, the same will happen if you renege on your word.
Okay. Agreed. I'll accept your duel, or what have you.
Most wise. You always were quick on the uptake, I must say.
But what are the rules? We haven't gone over the rules yet.
Thanks. So, what happens now? If we're going to have it out right now, then...
Don't be so hasty. I will send you an invitation with the location of this duel.
Huh? Do we need all this beating about the bush? Why not just tell us where it is now?
Hold your insolent tongue. I told you these things have rules. This is a formal engagement, and as such, there are procedures to follow.
Before you go, a question. Those troops behind you that you're so proud of, what in the world have you done to them?
I'm under no obligation to tell you. Truly, it has nothing to do with you. More importantly, this will be our final battle. You would do well to prepare yourself.
Anyway, does this mean we made it?
Looks that way. Not what I call satisfying, though.
Ashera, what will you do?
Oh, I'm sure I'll think of something. For now, we'll go back to Colony 11 and wait for this invitation.
We should start by checking on Zoran and the others.
Yo! How are you guys?
It appears we've pulled through. For the moment, at least. However, it's certainly a strange turn of events.
True. Ours withdrawn her troops, but I'm still uneasy. Everything's going exactly how she planned it.
And what were those soldiers, for Queen's sake? I thought I was going crazy.
Fighting them one-on-one, you might as well be fighting a doll. The numbers... they just wouldn't die.
No. It's not that they won't die. I think from the start they never had life in them at all.
If Mobius can do something like that, how come they haven't used it before?
Whatever our plan is, if we're forced into a war of attrition, we stand absolutely no chance. Ashera knows this. That's why she's accepted our terms. Conceivably.
You reckon? I think she just did her usual. Just doing anything to see if it's fun. Well, what are our chances of winning
Ashera?
I don't think she was here in the first
place. Yeah.
What the? Did she just up and disappear on us again? I'm losing my patience with her.
I'm pretty sure she wouldn't have left the colony.
Say, do you know where she's gone?
Nope.
No clue.
Queen spleen, I hate that maniac.
He's hiding over here.
Ashera!
Uni!
Oh, don't tell me I have to look after you too. You've caused enough trouble for us, don't give me any more. Hey, are you alright?
What do you mean?
You're looking awful. You feeling okay?
No, I'm fine. Just great.
Well, I sure hope so. We've still got our stupid jewel thing. You better keep it together.
Sorry. I suppose I'm not feeling too great.
Don't just lie about it then, Queen's sake. You're the one who said you'd beat R.
I mean, yes, that I did. It's just... I can't get into this. To me, this jewel rubbish just sounds like playing at war. It's not the battle I'm after.
This again. Then why did you agree to what she wants?
Why? Well, I don't mind dying myself, but that doesn't mean I'm fine dragging you all down with me.
Oh, you're too kind. Let me remind you, though, we wouldn't be in this mess if it weren't for you.
I might have made a serious miscalculation, I'm ashamed to say.
Hey, there's something I've wanted to ask you. Ashera, what do you really want?
How do you mean?
It's just... what is this battle you're looking for, ultimately? What will it take for you to be satisfied? If all these meaningless fights aren't it, then why not just say it straight? What? What is it? You're just staring at me.
Uni.
Yeah?
This is just hypothetical. But if I asked you here and now to kill me, do you think you would?
You what?
No.
You for snuffing real? You're telling that same tired joke? Or maybe you really have lost your mind? Don't just clam up. Say something.
Huh? A message?
Oh dear. It'll be a summons from our favorite Lady Consul.
This is... a set of coordinates.
Wait, this points to... These are right below Keves Castle. Is this some kind of mistake?
I wonder. I suppose we'll know when we get there. Well, we'd better make tracks. If the job's a bad one, it's best to get it over with all snappy-like.
Oi! Wait!
Oh yes, what I was saying before, it was just a joke, like you said. Don't pay it any mind.
So it seems like Ashera kind of remembers one of her previous lives where she was executed.
Appear on us again and I'll thrash the life out of you.
Not that that would be a bad... nothing. I'll bear it in mind.
But it also seems like she also kind of witnessed the, it looked like it looked identical to the scene where Chris kind of intervened in the homecoming execution of that one character. The flashback we saw in Noah's Ascension quest. So I guess maybe that's why we had to do Noah first.
Mia, would you do the honors?
Otherwise, I guess maybe that would have been a slight spoiler. I don't know. Probably wouldn't, but... okay, so we're going there. Okay, I wondered what that was over there. Because that little island there, I don't remember seeing that the first time I came through this area. And then it's like, came back here later in Chapter 7, and it's like, okay, what is that? I don't remember seeing that place before. There's a little island, like, right there.
We'll take this down.
I'm assuming there's going to be a way to get over there.
How about here?
Whoa, got a rare doodah right here.
And off we go!
Ion, no. Oh, you're beating me. How? Why? Ion, you little cheat.
How about here?
Okay.
Looks like it's down this way.
Yeah, apparently they're adding in some of these other lines
Like this?
that didn't exist previously.
Will it move now?
We have to keep track of our progress. We'll take this down.
Off we go.
Are we gonna be alright?
Leave 0.
Can't believe it. Who knew there was a place like this beneath the castle?
There's nothing here at all. Right. But, what's going on? It feels like the skin on the back of my neck's crawling.
This place... It's... Ah!
Ashera? What's up?
It's nothing. Nothing at all.
Welcome to the bottom of the world. I've been waiting for you.
Yeah, I'm finally here. What's the next step? Self-introductions? Or maybe we can just get down to the killing.
No need to be so impatient. After all, this might be the last time we two will get to clash with one another.
And does it say anywhere in your rules that we have to chew the fat down in the arse end of nowhere? Ah, do you think I'm playing around?
Don't get so bent out of shape. Is this place not to your liking? Observe. I've prepared this very special stage for our very special battle. I can't think of a more appropriate place for our duel than this, the ass end of nowhere, as you so aptly put it. What's wrong? You're very quiet. At this point, you'd usually have something glib to say. This isn't like you, my dear. Ah, could it be your neck injury is troubling you? Something along those lines, perhaps?
You and I, we've met before.
Incorrect. This is, in fact, the first time. However, I know what it is you remember. I know everything about you. Didn't I say before? There's nowhere more appropriate for our duel. Don't tell me. Did you truly think that you could hide it? You didn't think we'd know?
Hey! The spark is she blabbing on about here?
Oh, come on now. You haven't even told your friends, Ashera. Well, I suppose you couldn't have. Right? You're a coward.
Ashera! What the spark? When did they...
I got you there, you imbecile!
Was that part of the rules? I don't think we agreed to that.
No! Ashera! You've got to hang in there!
Nicely done, W. Everything is going exactly as I planned.
Can play with doll?
Oh, yes. Be my guest. Play with your little doll to your heart's content.
Yay!
So that was it. Those soldiers weren't ours doing at all. They were being controlled by this other console instead.
That bitch! This is what she wanted all along! And we fell for it! Jewel my ass!
Actually, that's where you're wrong. What follows next will be a duel, plainly and unmistakably. Only, your opponent might be a little closer to home.
This fog thing is something else.
Come on now! Oh.
More where that came from!
I'll draw them. Time to get crushed.
Eat this! Can't hold them off!
Demon Slayer.
I'll draw them.
Cheers, you're a gem.
Can't hold them off! Let me give you a taste!
Imagine she was like level 87 with the rest of the team. That would have been interesting. But no, she's not.
Not good. At this rate, if we hold back, she'll wipe the floor with us. But we can't. Snuff! What do we do?
Excellent. Marvelous. Each move so steady, so precise, so certain. Oh, I do love a good game of chess. I knew it would be worth the trouble I went to, putting this glorious stage together.
Kill?
Not yet. Play with them a little more. This appetizer isn't nearly enough to satisfy me.
Play. Oh?
Uni! What do you think you're doing?
It's a heal bullet.
Ashera, what was it you told me? Something about there being no friends or foes when fighting each other to the death or whatever. That's why I just had to take that shot. You should be happy with that, right?
Oh, now this is unexpected. Caught a taste of her lust for battle, have you?
Belt up! You just shut your ugly trap!
What?
Hey! You're satisfied with that, right? So come on! Wake the spark up! Right now! There's no snuffing way this is the death you were looking for! Am I wrong? Ashera!
No, you're not wrong. But anyone else would be dead right now.
You fool.
Ashera!
Been a real while since I took a hit like that. But I owe you one. I'm back and I never felt more alive.
Damn it! W! What are you playing at? Seize her again!
I can't. She put up barriers around her psyche. Anything more than a lifeless husk, and it's too hard.
Cease your belly aching and do it! Just do it now! Do it! Do it! Do it!
I told you, I can't.
W! I've come too far for you to muck this up now!
Oh dear, oh dear. Having a fallout? Is this part of your duel's rules too?
Shut up! I'll tell you what I think of our shitting duel!
If I just murder the lot of you here, then it's all the same to me! W! Bring out all the husks we have! And don't even think about abstaining yourself!
Okay.
Ashera, don't forget! Remember what you promised!
Uh-huh. I remember. How about we end this once and for all? I don't fear
draw
them,
them.
so bring it.
Can't hold them off!
How dare you!
Come on now!
More where that came from!
I'll draw them!
Come on. Somebody topple. There.
All together now. Time to bring them down. No escape. Too early to give up the ghost, eh, Madam Consul? How about this?
How about we just do it now?
Hit them where they least expect.
Alright, coming right up! Ready to be on it!
I can follow that up. Here's our chance.
We can go all night!
Do you think this plan might work? Yippee! Allow me.
I'm with you. How about this? Above and beyond.
One more for the road. Just one. How about something like this?
Alright, coming right up!
I'll start us off.
More where that came from.
I got you in my sight! Hope you're ready for it! Eat this, don't stop us! Stay right there! Got a surprise for you!
You animals! Look what you've done!
Let me give you a taste. Give it up.
Come on now.
More where that came from. I'll show you.
Noah. No, Noah got the spin.
Eat this. I'll show you.
I'll end it here.
Eat this.
And now you get the spin.
I'll show you. You won't get away.
Here we go.
Give it up.
I'll come fast and fast now then. There, you're out.
Got it all cut. Give it up.
No escape. We're good to go. Shall we?
Time to send them packing!
All right. Let's get good.
Eat this.
Let's have a Gotcha!
We can go all night!
Do you think this plan might work? That's the way!
There we go.
I might have the answer. How about something like this? Yippee!
Only!
You're in for it now.
This'll end it.
That brings our business to a close, Madam Consul. Any last words?
Yes. Gloat. Maniac. I hope you lose your mind. Writhe in agony. You can run from your pain all you want. It'll only happen again. No matter how much you fight, no matter how many lives you take.
Even if it works out the same. I have to fight against it. This pain. However many times. The look on your face tells me you want to ask something.
You knew about all this from the start? About Mobius? About how the people of this world are born, all that? Since before you even met us? All along?
Can I tell you a story? It's from a ridiculously long time ago. A time all but gone from memory. Today, soldiers fight and scrabble to survive for 10 years. All to be blessed with the honor of the homecoming ritual. But once, there was a time when there was no such thing as a homecoming ritual.
You what? I've never heard this before.
I did just say, it's all but gone from memory. Even so, there was a ceremony for those soldiers who reached homecoming age. Do you know what would happen? A consul would end them personally. No officers to be seen. In other words, an execution.
What? Execution? What the spark for?
It sounds better if you call it a ceremony to offer up the light of a person's life. But really, all that awaited them was a death much more humiliating than if they'd fallen to an enemy's blade.
But that doesn't make any sense. And why do you know any of this? Wait. No way. You don't mean...
This scar on my neck. I didn't always have this, you know. It starts appearing as I get older, along with memories of that day and the pain. Each time I remember thinking one thing. This isn't how it's supposed to be. I didn't go through all this fighting for it to end like this. And another lovely gift. The pain keeps getting worse and worse. It'll become unbearable as homecoming nears. Until finally I go mad from the pain, and then...
I didn't... How many times have you had to go through this? Do you know?
Uni. I know to you it must have seemed like I just spout nonsense and try to look cool. But really, I just want to escape. Escape the feeling that death is wrapped around my throat, ready to take me. So, there you have it. All I want is to die in the time and place that I choose. That's basically it. Yeah, maybe I really am just a coward.
Ashera. Wow. Now I get why you asked me if I'd kill you.
You must have thought I was a fool. But you see, Uni, it would mean more to me. Much more than any of the deaths I've gone through until now.
I'll do it. No need to convince me any further.
Thank you. This way I can finally move on without any regrets.
However, under one condition. If I'm gonna kill you, I go too. You gotta take me with you.
Huh? Sorry, run that past me again?
Oh, just forget it. Shut up. I know, I'm sounding like an idiot. But guess there's no help in that. I've sort of realized you're the same as me.
I'm the same as you.
So you won't hear any crap like, you gotta tough it out, you gotta live on. Or, anything's better than dying. Not from me, of all people. I'd just rather help you find the right place where you can end things. And if I mess that up, I'll just have to kick your bucket myself. But you've got to do the same for me, and I'm not taking no for an answer. Deal?
Uni, do you remember?
But Ashera, both of our lives, they don't belong to just us, you know.
You've got me there. You put me in a bind. Guess I can't go dying just yet.
Okay.
Great, guys. Keep this up.
Yeah, Ashera's done. Okay. Let's just go down the list now. Let's do Triton. I'll be another side quest down there.
Triton's got you covered.
Well, we got you covered. I think we need to go. I don't remember which camp I need to be at for this one. Argon Point? I'm sure the game will tell me.
Let's rest and heal up.
Oh, we want to talk about consoles with Triton? Okay. Hillside Piranhas. Oh. Okay. I'm in the wrong place. I was way off.
Right then, off we go.
Let's rest and heal up. Shall we put our heads together on this?
Noah, about our next destination.
Ahoy, laddie. There's somewhere I'd be wanting to go to.
I am not laddie, and I'm under no obligation whatsoever to listen to you.
Actually, there's a bunch of places I need to pay a visit to.
You can talk to yourself all you want. We don't have the time to listen to you drone on.
It was on a cold day, nearly 100 years ago.
Hey, don't just ignore me when I'm talking to you.
I was on a journey at the time, seeking strong foes.
What? Like you're doing now, you mean?
Don't encourage him.
One day, I ran into him.
Him?
Aye, him. An eccentric man, was he? Couldn't fight his way out of a paper bag. But then, he ended up entrusting something important to me.
I see. But if this was so long ago, then that man must be...
Anyone's life is short if you look at it from my perspective. Not that I be trying to offend you folks. Anyway, this man, he handed me, I think it was a pot. After that, I can't remember a blessed thing.
You think? You can't remember? What are we supposed to do with that?
So what does this have to do with where you want to go?
Very good question, girl. It came to me suddenly that when he and I went places, I'd leave some kind of mark. I mean, it'd be a bother if I forgot where we went, eh? So, I left my giant handprints all over the place.
All over the place, huh? Very helpful.
Very helpful.
Well, now and then stuff comes back to me. I just remembered I left one mark by a lake around where Gamma is right now.
Does the place stand out?
Sorry. Can't remember anything except that mark. Back then, I used to fly everywhere in a Piranhas.
You used the Piranhas just for that? What the... What a waste.
I suppose. It did cause a few squabbles with some other colonies.
Forget about that. At least we've got something to aim for.
But...
Of course, we can't just run around endlessly hunting for those marks. But if we see something similar to what he remembers, it might jog his memory.
Then I suppose I don't mind.
Sorry, folks. Just keep your eyes peeled for him and I'll be grateful.
Okay. Go hunt down the old pirate's memories. A journey across the world. clock cielo.
Oh, so that's how they're doing.
Judging by the lay of the land... Ah, there it is!
Is this?
Yar, there it be! That be my handprint and no mistake. As big as a whale as always.
Does that jog your memory?
Aye, my friend and I used to go off hunting a lot. I'm sure it was in,
That phrasing is very telling.
He would keep this thingy on him that he used to treasure. Well, blow me down if I can't remember what that thingy might be.
Well, is there anything else you can think of?
I only traveled with him for a short time, I did. Seems like I only have to blink and another human passes away.
You managed to remember this much about him. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here.
I wonder.
I probably should have asked before, but what even made you remember something from that long ago?
Ah, well, it was while I watched our fair Nopon lady cooking up a storm. And it just popped into my head. I felt dissatisfied, like something was missing.
Food of Manana Nummy?
Nay, nothing like that, miss. I love just about anything I eat. Ah, that stirred something. Day after day, he'd peek inside his little pot thing. Ah, it's come back to me. We were broadsided by a rabble, and my mate brought out his pot. He murmured something or other about fermentation.
Fermentation? What's up with that? Was it some science experiment or something?
Queen's wings, what is in this pot? Isn't that a rockel right now?
We could just ignore it.
On your guard, guys.
Immortal rockel. Okay. Kill it.
You're on fire, lad! Bring the rubbish up the other. I'll draw them. Cheers for that. Good going, Uni. Give the enemies to me.
Can't let you do that.
Sometimes brute force is the answer. I know. Feeling good.
Heal harmony!
Can't hold them off. Surrender before we grind you into dust.
Cry of me! Oreo!
No way! Are you ready, Uni? We are echelons above you!
Cross impact! How great
Mega Crescent!
Oreo!
Atomize! Jackal Claw! Crash out!
Maximum, here we go, Lance! Advantage! Get you, Leo!
Well, stick me with spines and call me a spike archon. That monster knew how to put up a fight.
A fight? That was awful. How the spark did you forget about that?
Look, whatever, it's done. Just tell us you found what you're looking for.
Well, I remembered one thing.
See? There we go. Reminisce away, old-timer.
Long ago, when there was no Colony Gamma here, back then it was Colony Iota and Colony 18 who were at each other's throats. Of course, in I blundered with no clue at all, and I ended up with both of them trying to send me into the deep.
When I said reminisce, I meant about something relevant, yeah?
They had some guts trying to off a console, that be sure. Back then, just about anybody tried to have a pop at old Triton.
Right, I'm punching him. Noah, permission to punch.
Permission granted.
Hold on until after he's done.
While we were fleeing the colonies, we made a little meal of the monster we killed here. Quite a good cook was my mate. Sorry, kiddies. Looks like there's nothing here.
Come on, we can't end it like this.
Well, I reckon it might be round where Lambda is now.
Then let's get over there. You might remember something else.
Okay. I'm just making sure I have a soul hack. Apparently I haven't beaten this unique monster yet.
Look out! Careful, everyone! I'll draw them.
Go ahead and kill along here. Massive Georges. Yeah.
What I expected. I'd say we were moving in sync, right, Tile?
Judging by the lay of the land. Ah, there it is. I see nothing's changed about this place.
But didn't you insinuate Colony Lambda hasn't always been stationed here?
Aye, that's right. That place be great if you want a good solid defense, but woe betide ye if ye try launching an attack from it. You had to fight like a trooper back in the day, so there was no point in having a stationary base. If their commanders hold up inside, they're either very sure of themselves, or they're one ship short of a full fleet. By the by, see that big hole open up near the Furnace?
Oh, that. Seems it's been there for some time.
I bashed that one open with these here fists.
Huh? You did that?
Wow, this is the kind of place my mate used to like to fish. And if he couldn't fish, I couldn't eat. I'd just sit on my arse. Well, I had time to kill, so I smashed chunks out of the cliff face every day. What man sees a wall and doesn't want to tear it down, I ask you?
I don't know what walls you've seen, buddy.
So, Triton, does that remind you of anything?
He was such an easy-going fella, but I never once asked him where he came from or how old he was. Now I come to think of it, I didn't even know wherefore he was traveling.
You didn't check in with your iris?
I wonder. It was all so long ago, I don't remember. Ah, but I know that when he and I arrived here, it was quite a balmy day. He peeked inside his pot, said that all the heat wouldn't do, then spoke about how he wanted to wait out the season.
What could that mean?
That's the thing about living as long as I have. I know it's important, but I just plumb forgot, and it ain't coming back.
Mate.
My memory's not what it used to be, but I do recall Rogals used to hang out here. We were once surrounded by them, I faintly recall. That was a hard battle indeed.
Yeah, to fight some Rogals, yeah.
Like those things?
Like those?
Ah! This just keeps happening!
What be life without a bit of excitement? We can vent by beating the tar out of them.
You know what? Fine. Let's do it!
Crash! I'll draw them.
This'll keep you going. Oriole!
Bring the rope. Quick move.
Oriole!
I'll draw them.
You didn't disappoint.
Way home.
Am I doing okay with the deal?
Hold your arm.
Still okay. Quit being an idiot and stay back.
Crash
Am I
out.
doing okay with the
I'll
deal?
draw them.
My power flows free.
We can do better yet.
How's that?
Down you go. And stop aggroing me.
Topple! Pow! We can do this.
I'm fit to burst.
Uppercut slam. I'll draw them.
Thanks.
I can't hold them off. Bring the rope. Glittering melon. Too fast for you.
Smooth as always, Noah.
Twin move.
Disruptive shot.
Crash out.
I knew that was gonna happen.
Are you ready, Uni?
Ah,
Everything to their knees. Body double.
Great. I know I can count on you, Tyon.
Mega crash.
Heal harmony.
All round.
You'll win.
Spirit Raven.
Triton claw. Exactly momentum. Power
We
of
can do better
Ouroborus.
yet. Let's use it to the max. Crash out.
Rated 4. Yes. Keep it up, Neo.
Now on top.
With you,
Way
Noah,
home.
I'm so on. Go home.
Bring the rope. Let's show them.
Man, I'm fit to burst.
Twin move. Jackal claw.
okay. That fight was a little messy, but I got through it.
I don't want to sound like Tyon, but I'll say it anyway. This is all your fault.
Ah, sorry, girlie. Why don't I catch you a nice whopper to say I'm sorry? I'll roast it nicely and serve it up to you. It'll taste mighty fine, I promise.
Anyway, we're not getting any more clues from your memory.
I guess it can't be helped. It's such a long time ago after all.
First hunting, then fishing. What are we even doing here? Seriously?
I'm getting fed up running about like a headless turkin.
Oh, you're fed up?
Triton, you said the pot was dropped somewhere, didn't you? If it was so long ago, who's to say that someone didn't pick it up?
Oh, I didn't think of that. Guess it ain't impossible.
Maybe so much time has passed that it got buried or something.
So now I suppose you want us to start digging.
I'm just saying is all.
Can you really not think of anything else?
Oh, there might be one thing. Behind Keves Castle be those hovering reefs. They be triggering my noggin.
There must be something there then. Let's go.
Hey now, boyo. What's gotten into you all of a sudden?
Nothing much. I just think if this place is important to you, we should pay it a visit.
Alright.
I don't care if it's a jar or an old snuffing boot. I'm gonna find this thing.
Big responsibility.
That's the spirit, lad. Now, let's make for the hovering reefs.
Okay, it's like right here. Ooh. We have to kill a giant koala.
I remember these floating islands. Ah, there it is. Nothing. Guess I wasted your time again.
It really was a long while ago, huh? Maybe there's nothing we can do.
Aye, this place was already in a sorry state way back when. Must have been blasted off to who knows where.
By the way, your friend, Triton, how did he die?
I don't know the why and wherefore, but it'd be about the time when a beastie swallowed him down in one gulp.
Oh no!
He was waving his arms, shouting, "Eat me!" He was a bit of a loon.
He must have been, to travel with you. Maybe one of those monsters bashed a screw loose.
This has been nothing but trouble for ye kids. If nothing turns up here, let's just call it quits, eh?
Wait, that's kind of sudden. You're okay with stopping after all this?
It ain't the searching that's the problem. I can do that whenever. I got a bit more time than ye all have.
Triton.
But you know, I have at least remembered my friend. It might be my lot in life to outlive everyone else, but he lives in my memories and in my heart. Ain't no way I'd throw away what he's left me. Of course, I forgot all about him until now, so I'm talking complete bilge.
If you've finished being gloomy, we need to search every nook and cranny. There must be something we haven't seen.
You what? You were totally against all this.
I just hate leaving a job half done. Honestly, I couldn't care less about what he's searching for. And I don't mind if we never find it. But I just need to know either way.
Our words well spoken, Four Eyes. I'm much the same. Right then, let's give it one more shot. Oh, what's this?
Another monster.
Ha ha! You're still alive, you wretched cur! Thought I'd taken care of you back then. This time I'll make sure you don't get away. Prepare to be pounded!
The kid Noah.
Feel it in my bones! Fire and cross! Here, harmony! We're the power of Ouroborus! Our power flows free! To punch your lights out! This ain't the half of it!
Are you ready, Uni?
Have that
Ah, going toe-to-toe with a big slugger like this, there ain't nothing finer.
Putting that aside, would this be our fabled pot? This thing was holding on to it.
Ah! That'll be it! It's gotta be!
Yeah? Is that really the pot? So, what have we got inside there?
Don't tell us you want to keep it secret after all we've been through.
Ah. Well, you see... What is this?
Don't look at me.
Oh, familiar smell. It's miso paste.
Miso?
That's correct. Can add miso to meat, fishes, all sorts of vegetable. It's all-purpose flavoring.
What? That's what we were busting our butts for?
Yeah, jar and miso paste. It's probably a rare thing in this world.
Me and him, we...
Hold on! I'll have you out!
No, Frank! Forget about me. Only the pot. Only the pot matters now.
Are you out of your mind? You worked your behind off to make this miso stuff!
I'm sorry, my friend. This is it for me. But I put my whole being into that. I want you to take that perfect miso. You need to make the best dish ever!
Partner! Hello?
WTF.
He and I, we journeyed to gather ingredients that would match this stuff. But when we finally arrived here, that blasted monster went and ate him. And he entrusted this to me. Idiot! How could I ever have forgotten something that damn well important? I get it. When I saw the Nopon lady cooking and thought something was missing from the food, that thing, it was miso. To think that, all these years and decades, my heart's been captive to a simple bean paste. Doesn't that sound stupid? Eh?
Yeah.
I'm sorry about this, kiddies. This miso won't ever go off, even if centuries pass. If you behave, I'll treat ye to a little taste.
That make me Nana incredibly happy. Looking forward to sampling legendary miso.
Hey, Noah.
What's up?
Gonna ask you again. Can I give him a real slug?
Yes.
Just one.
Just one. I'm just gonna make the Madonna's miso soup. Okay.
Oh, so that's how they're doing.
Yeah, camp right here. Let's see if we can make it.
I'm getting peckish. Do you have any snacks?
Madonna's miso soup. Ah, it's okay.
I couldn't eat another bite.
Huh. There we go.
Alright, Triton's done. Let's do Juniper.
We have to keep track of our progress.
Let's keep things on a tight loop.
Leave it to me.
Okay, so yeah, I mentioned last time I was having trouble figuring out how to get Juniper's quest going, but turns out there's actually a dude up here on the watchtower you need to talk to who has another quest. And once you start his quest, that'll start the chain of quests that'll eventually unlock Juniper's hero quest, so that's the key. If you're having trouble, look up on the watchtower. There's a person up there you have to talk to.
Ah! What the spark's all this?
What are these monsters doing here?
What's going on?
Why, little Junebug? You're late.
Oh, it's their console finally showed up.
Console.
You know I can't abide tardiness. Too much fun and games, is it? Ha! Life is not a bed of roses, my dear. You must be aware of that, surely.
What are you after?
My. Why so sour, my little Ouroberries?
Ouroberries?
I haven't the slightest inclination to involve myself in a fracas with you.
Oh yeah? Then what are you doing here?
Dear, I am positively quaking in my boots. I am here to see my little Junebug, nothing more.
And you expect us to believe that?
You may set your hearts aflutter with whatever feelings you desire, for all I care. If I must confide in you a detail, I would like you to know that it was I who dealt those monsters a swift demise.
You? I can confirm that. If it weren't for the console, we might not even be standing here.
Spark, if only I hadn't screwed up.
You're injured.
Yeah, my fault. I got cocky. Monsters got a free swipe in.
You may find it hard to believe, but I'm quite the assiduous type. I've been keeping a close watch on my fruitlings. But now that little Junebug has returned, there is yet more work to be done.
You're not angry about the flame clock?
Angry? You were the ones who broke it. You aren't going to apologize, are you? Besides, I've been aware of the circumstances for a while now. It has to be said, it's a delicate topic.
Delicate?
Yes, delicate. Do your ears need rinsing, Poppet? I don't know if you're aware, but the people of Tau themselves chose to break the clock. It's hardly my place to complain. I happen to be quite the individualist. Don't you know?
You're not making a lick of sense.
Now, Junebug, be a sweet pea and go on ahead, will you?
Don't worry. I'll be fine.
Noah, we're just letting Juniper go?
Juniper said not to worry, so let's not worry.
That's the spirit. Perhaps you and I will be able to see eye to eye after all. Oh, one thing. I have a job for you, Ouroberries, if you would be so kind.
A job? For us?
For you. I'd like you to procure some twine turf. For me.
Yeah? What are you using it for?
Someone's got to remove those nuisances for new life to settle in. But preparations will need to be in place if we are to dispose of them. Which is where the twine turf comes in.
Twine turf? I think I saw some of that in Yellow Grove.
Well, look at that. How fortuitous. That's a mere stone's throw from here.
Well, it's not far. That's true.
See? It wouldn't kill you to fetch some.
I know what you're thinking, but these things really are going to be a problem for us otherwise, so we'd really appreciate the help.
No, I understand. Let's go then.
Okay. Twine turf, alright. Okay. Go over here. Alright, I think I'll probably finish this quest up, and then I think I'll probably stop for tonight because I'm starting to feel a little tired here. There's no worries, made a lot of progress today. I'll probably try to stream again tomorrow and finish up the last bit of Ascension quest that I have. I only have like what, 1, 2, 3 more after this. I'll probably do one more stream and finish that up.
Oh, hey, I found the what's it.
Twine turf, alright.
You think this'll do?
Don't see why not.
I wonder how the console's going to use this stuff to get rid of the monsters.
I haven't a clue.
Everyone!
Oh, hello, Juniper. Welcome back.
Juniper, are you alright?
Yes, and the colony is unharmed, thank goodness.
Hey, Juniper, has your console always been like that?
The console? I don't really recall.
You said she pretty much left you to it, right?
That's correct. The console rarely ever visits us. We've met a couple of times, but I barely have any recollection of us talking.
So why on Ionios would she start involving herself now?
I say we get this job done, and then we give her a piece of our mind. I mean, I don't really sense any hostility from it. Maybe it's fine.
But you have to admit, she's got a way of getting on your nerves, right?
Still, she is a consul. If we underestimate her, we'll no doubt be in for a world of pain.
Noted. But even if we do have to fight, it'd have to be outside of the colony.
Yeah. We don't know what she might be planning to do with the people of Colony Tau.
We should try to head back soon.
I'll report into the console.
We have to keep track of our progress.
Is that enough for you?
Wonderful, my dear Ouroborus. Quite the speedy little workers, aren't you?
So, how are you going to use the stuff?
We're going to make it into a pulp and throw it into a bonfire. I hear it has the most fragrant aroma. No doubt the creatures will be drawn straight to it.
Okay, but why are you going to put the bonfire in the middle of the colony? That seems like a bad idea. Why are you not doing this outside the colony?
A little assistance wouldn't go amiss. You.
Huh? Yes.
What a farce.
They're drawn to the scent, are they?
What is it, Tyon? You picked up on something?
Yeah, a flaw in the logic.
Not exactly.
Come on, Tyon.
Oh, what is this? Oh, I do so hate the forest. What with all the bugs?
Right. Well, they do say that bugs hate smoke.
You know the type of insect I hate the most. The creepy, crawly kind. Oh, ghastly things. How about you?
Me? I've seen them all before. Can't say they bother me.
Oh. Such a tedious little corner of Ionios. Nothing much ever happens around here, does it?
No, not really. I'm kind of used to it by now, though.
Well, of course you would be. State the obvious. Why don't you?
Oh, right. Sorry, ma'am.
Now throw in the plants I gave you, and we should be all set for the preparatory phase.
Where are you going, ma'am?
Oh, you know, I thought I might witness a little of that Ouroberry magic for myself. The smoke rising from the bonfire acts like a signal flare to indicate the start of battle.
Yeah? What's that got to do with... Crap! They're back! Again! What?
Looks like you've got your work cut out for you. Oh, yes. You had better live your lives to their very fullest.
What? These monsters!
Yeah, it attracted the monsters to the colony. What did you think was going to happen?
Don't ask me! They just showed up out of the blue and started heading this way!
These monsters aren't from the forest. Why would they have come in so far?
I have my hunches.
No point guessing right now. Let's send these guys packing!
This'll keep me going.
There's no end to him!
The appropriate tactic in this situation is fight first, whine later, mate.
Yeah, I know, man. Makes me feel better, though.
My dear, sweet little Junebug. I'll tell you what I'm trying to accomplish here. I want to see Colony Tau performing to the very best of their ability.
What?
I want them to wallow in regret, to agonize, tremble, suffer, writhe, convulse, and then die. You see, the look on their faces at that moment is the most delectable thing in the world to me.
Consort, I don't understand.
All that you are, distilled at the cusp of death to a perfect fraction of unbearable humiliation. However, teetering there on the edge of oblivion is also the moment in which you shine the brightest. The terror of death flickering in your minds, fighting madly in the hope that you still might live. A newborn babe could never hope to match that expression of horror. Only the march of time can crystallize those grimaces of wrath and agony, aged to perfection like a fine wine.
They're coming our way, too. Never a dull moment around here.
Come now, Junebug. Chin up. I want to see you at the peak of your brilliance.
Just shoot an arrow in her face already. Come on.
I can't savor your emotions if you don't ripen to your fullest now, can I?
I think later levels are not really not that high.
This will keep me going. Things are building up. Crash out! Jackal claw! Keves, you're a guest. You might want to surrender before we grind you into dust. You take the half of it. It's amazing.
I'll draw them.
Sparks! They got Roland. Somebody go and help the poor soul!
How in the... Are we snuffed then? Is this it for us?
Stay calm. There's still a glimmer of hope. There aren't as many monsters as before. It's doable. Keep pushing them back.
We'll try.
Ouroberries are a force to be reckoned with, aren't they? I hadn't factored them in, but I did get a taste of fear and despair, and for that I am truly grateful. You must have felt such sweet relief when they broke the flame clock. How does it feel to have all that taken away from you? You'd better pick up the pace, or my little monsters will flock to you like a free meal.
It's the smoke. Put out the fire. Stop the smoke.
Oh, I think it's a little late for that.
I had my doubts, but I never thought you were so brazen as to do this openly.
When you crush and burn those plants, they make the most irresistible aroma for monsters.
So you lied about getting rid of them?
I said that nuisances have to be removed. Who said anything about monsters? I was hoping to remove everyone save little Junebug here, and make way for new growth in the forest.
You don't have to spout a load of shite, you know that?
I was hoping to see them savaged by hungry beasts, but oh well. Your efforts have managed to ruin a perfectly good tragedy. Again.
Again?
Did I not mention? Not a few days ago, I recall that you intervened. I was hoping to cull some fruitlings before their homecoming.
Ah, the monsters from before.
Yes, that's it. That's the way. It's the monsters that you encountered on that fateful day. The very same. Yes, I led them there myself. If they had feasted on your husks, I could have thrown them into the colony and given you such a fright.
Why? Why would you think of doing such an awful thing?
I took you to be smarter than this, Junebug. Be a dear and fire up those synapses for me. Colony Tau was ready to accept their fate. I settled on the monsters as the best way to deal with that. I thought perhaps if you were to see your friends torn apart before your very eyes, it might give you the stimulus you need.
You're beyond help.
When the flame clock was destroyed, and you were given the chance to live, you also came to fear death, and gained the ability to suffer, as you are doing right now. You've done well, my little Ouroberries. Yes, indeed. The look on your faces is not something so easily reproduced. Ah, how long I've waited just to see those contortions. The perfect moment. Once matured, then savored. I'll not let you die easily. I shall see to that.
You consoles are all the same, aren't you?
Except for Triton, he's just silly.
How can you toy with people's lives like this? You think this is fun?
Oh, I just love teasing my favorite playthings. Is that really so difficult to understand? Well, It's been lovely talking to you, but I'm afraid time's getting on. If you despise me so much, slay my little pets and try taking me on yourselves.
Oh, we will.
This'll keep me going.
Twin move!
Restrict them, 10!
I'll draw them!
This'll keep me going. Liberation! That's a big help.
Good job, Uni! Diamond!
I'm the big Ouroborus!
The heat is on! To punch your life!
Resonant flag! Ouroborus!
Let's use it to the max!
Make it destructive drop!
My, you really defeated them? All of them? Well, you're nothing if not tenacious.
If you stay away from our colony without interfering, just as you always have, I'm willing to let bygones be bygones.
Without interfering? You really are a model child, aren't you? I told you, I consider myself the assiduous type. Why do you think that so few make it to homecoming, in this pit that none know about or care about? Why do you think there are few threats to your colony, yet your flame clock teeters on the brink of collapse?
Well...
Let me explain it to you in simple terms that even you will be able to understand. I made it that way. It was by my design.
What?
You really are the lowest of the low!
I had the soldiers die when approaching their final term. I conceived your peculiar traditions, and I sent monsters to you. And when your numbers were culled just enough to maintain the colony, I sent you new recruits. When you lacked a source of life with which to fill the clock, I placed monsters of adequate strength for your succor. And it has all been for this moment. Ah, the lengths I went to, just for today.
I cannot begin to understand you.
Countless hours of painstaking effort went into this. But I am so very glad to have met a soul like yourself, little Junebug. Even your rage brings me delight. The fact that you want to kill me where I stand, even more rapturous. I shall contort your face into an expression of pure agony. I shall tear down all that you are!
The people of Colony Tau have been fighting just to survive day to day. We won't allow you to have your way anymore. This ends here.
Yes, I suppose you're right. My actions are unforgivable. Come then, do your worst. If you don't kill me now...
You'll have to watch as I slaughter your precious colony Tau before your very eyes! Let your face twist in agony for my pleasure!
Your time's up, Consul.
Eat this!
No one gets in my way. Ha!
You won't get away!
No escape!
Eat this!
Come on now! No escape!
I'll show you! You won't get away!
Give it up when you go!
Are you ready, Uni? Show no mercy! You won't get away!
Make it up!
I'll show you!
Because of Ouroborus!
No escape!
Eat this! We can't hold for much longer!
Playtime's over!
Do 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 do.
Do you think this plan might work?
Alright, coming right up!
Allow me!
Well, well.
Not following your lead! How about this? We can go all night! I'll show you!
How about something like this? Do you think this plan might work?
All right!
I'll start us off. I'll keep pelting them.
I'm with you!
At the end, there I'll be.
Turn and shoot.
Well,
Slowly.
I'll burn you all to ash!
This bow will strike true.
Be on it!
You're in for it now.
How about this?
You can't stop this momentum.
Hit them where they least expect. I just thought of a great idea.
Position, I'll make this one! I'll lead!
You're strong, aren't you?
Yeah, that's good enough.
Well, then, it looks like it's my loss. You've such power, my Ouroborus.
Consul you.
Oh, yes. Now that right there is the face I wanted to see. I'm afraid I won't be dying here alone. I'm going to kill off all your dear sweet friends, one by one. You will remember exactly how they died, and you will regret it every waking moment. Cursing your own ineptitude, wishing you'd done more. Avenged though they were, aimless anger will consume you. How very exquisite the look on your face will be then.
She's lost the plot. Big time.
This was our victory. You don't need to listen to this.
Colony Tau.
What about them?
We made a promise that we'd survive. And so, the Consul's twisted games are something I cannot entertain.
Ah, Juniper. So you really can make a face like that too.
And now I must wonder, did I do the right thing in the end?
Yes, you did.
I think that's what life is all about. Searching to find that answer.
Yes. How true.
Thanks. Yet again. Feels like you're always saving our bacon.
Now, none of that. We're all mates now, remember?
Yeah, Lance is right. We're all in this together.
Juniper, what's wrong?
Life is cruel, isn't it? Just when I stopped waiting for death and began to live for myself. Why must it be so hard? It's just as the consul said, expecting death would have been so much easier.
You're not wrong. It's not easy. And it never will be.
Sure, but it's still a sight better than doing sparkle and giving up.
That's also true. You're right. Life is a struggle, but I think I'd like to go on fighting for a little while longer at least.
Nah, you've got to dream bigger. Fight until the bitter end!
Perhaps I should. Even without a consul, our goal remains the same.
That's right. And we've got to start by harvesting the crops.
Right, yes. We have our hands full as it is trying to look after ourselves right now.
Sure. Well, if you ever find yourself having a hard time, we'll be there to help.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you, and see you soon.
Okay. Oh. Alright. I'm gonna stop here for today.
We have to keep track of our progress.
Ow, I just ran over my chair. Didn't mean to do that. Anyway. Yeah, we'll try and finish this up tomorrow. According to the list, we got 3 more to do. Kamarabi and Efo, I think, are probably linked together. And then we have to do Sigiri. And then after that, I can finally move on to the rest of the main quest without anything else up. There's still side quests to do. Now that I got a whole new town uncovered, there's no more side quests to do now. But, you know, made a lot of progress today. Keves Castle has been liberated. So now Agnes and both Keves have been liberated. But there's still going to be battles between the two, which I don't know why if that would even still happen at this point, but anyway. That's going to be it for tonight. I already said that anyway. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you later. I'm going to go now and take a nap because I don't know, I'm just falling asleep here. It's not the game, it's just me. Anyway. Bye-bye. I go now.